Rattler Vlog, episode 26. Jade Spruyt. Women's basketball. We're just going to give her a second to sign on here. I see Bryce joining us. Bryce, tonight's guest is in your era of basketball. Atlanta Von Muir. So we got Jade Spruyt joining us right now. There she is. Let's get her on. And we are going to jump right in. Hang on a sec here. There it is. All right. Go live with Jade. Yes. Yes. Hey,
Hi,
hey.
how are you, Kim?
Good, Jade. Everybody, this is Jade Spruyt, women's basketball. She played 2 seasons with the Rattlers. Thanks for
Yeah,
joining us tonight. We appreciate it.
you're welcome.
Normally, we start with some small talk. Let's forget the small talk. Let's jump
Okay,
right in. We'll jump
okay.
right in. And over the past couple of weeks, I've asked almost everyone this exact same question, not necessarily on this vlog, but everybody I know. And I found the answers to be amazing. So, Jade, the question for you is: you travel a lot, or at least you did.
Yeah.
Do you think that you have had COVID?
Um, I don't think so, only because recently with my field work, in order for the university to let us do field work, we had to make a plan basically saying how we're going to be super strict with where we're going and what we're doing. And there haven't, so I've been here in the Okanagan the whole time and not pretty much just going to the grocery store and stuff. I mean, recently we have gone to like a couple restaurants and stuff now that things have been open, but yeah, we were being very careful for a while. So my guess would say no, because it's pretty much the only person I see is my field assistant. We don't really see that many people. So my guess would be no, but of course you never know. I haven't been tested, so.
Now, we're all supposed to have some kind of isolation plan or some kind of quarantine plan.
Hmm.
If all of a sudden you just kind of started to get a little sniffle and a little scratchy throat, you went and got
Hmm.
tested, and like, how in the world did that happen? Where are you going to go? What are you going to do to isolate?
Um, I mean, I live right now with two other girls. So I guess I would just stay at my place and make them go stay somewhere else. I don't know.
You're both out of here.
I don't
See
really
ya.
know. Well, they both have like family in the area or friends in the area they could stay with. So then I could just trap myself. And we live kind of out in the boonies, so I'd like really be isolated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Question number two. I've got 8 questions, and then after that, we'll just kind of open it up to wherever it goes.
Okay.
Um, are you finding that you have more time on your hands? And what have you started doing over the past couple of months that you might not have otherwise done
Mm.
just because of COVID? Is there anything?
Yeah. I actually don't have more time on my hands because I'm doing field work right now and the field season's super busy for me. It's like the busiest time of year, so I don't have that much more time. But I did pick up a new hobby. My dad made me a plant press for Christmas, so I've been making cards for my friends by pressing flowers and like snake sheds, and then I'll like put it on a card and like send it to my family. So that's my new hobby is making cards with pressed flowers. So
That is really neat.
yeah.
Uh, question three. How germophobe have you become?
Um, I don't think that germophobia, but there was a bit there, like in March, when I was like, when I would like see people like hug on TV and like cringe, or like be scared to like touch stuff at the store. But I don't think I think not that bad.
Okay. Question four. Um, you come from an extremely sporty family.
Hmm.
How competitive was it as a kid growing up in that environment? How crazy did it get between these? There's 3 of you, right?
Yeah.
All right. How
Um,
competitive was it?
well, I think like it was competitive, but it wasn't, it never felt like that competitive. My mom was super, super pushed that like it's all for fun. Like if you're not having fun, then there's no point in playing, like, or any sport, like anything you're doing. If you're not having fun, there's no point. So it wasn't like all a competition, like I always have to win. Like I didn't really have that mindset. But that being said, my brother and my sister are played all the same sports as me, so we were pretty competitive. Like even in the backyard, we'd be like, "That was a foul! No, no, it doesn't count." So and but more so than competitive, it was just always fun to have someone there to like play one on one with, or yeah, go to the gym with. So it was more, I'd say it was more like teammates than like enemies.
Awesome. Between you, your brother, and your sister, who is your parents' favorite?
Jenna, for sure.
Wow.
Um,
You said
lo-
that without a moment hesitation. Is it just because she's the baby or what?
no, Logan's the baby actually. Well, they're
Oh, okay.
twins. They're twins, but Logan's 1 minute younger. So,
Okay.
uh, no, Logan and I just like to I don't know, kind of we like to do our own thing. We don't maybe listen to them as much as we should. And Jenna's just probably the most helpful around the house. Yeah, she's kind of just better than us, but
She's got a little something on her nose, hey?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
All right. Next question. If you really, really wanted to get under Logan's skin,
Mm.
what do you say to him? What button do you push?
Um, well, I mean, it's kind of like there's a few different things, but lately, now that we're older, we get in some pretty good like political discussions because I'm obviously like in the environmental science aspect, and Logan he's in business, or he has a degree in business now, and like managing large corporations and stuff like that. His specialty is actually right now mergers and acquisitions, so like big companies like buying out other companies. And we can get in arguments about, yeah, capitalism, that kind of stuff. But
Ah,
so they're normally pretty big, like the smaller things, but those are like normally good discussions because like I know things he doesn't, he knows things that I don't. But like more like little things, I'll like bug him about his outfit or something. He's really proud of his style, so maybe if I try to make fun of it. But normally I actually really like his style, so it's pretty hard to make fun of it.
that's hilarious. Okay, so the era of the women's Rattlers that you played in was probably, and this is the honest to God truth, probably one of the most exciting eras of women's basketball for the Rattlers in recent memory. Your team had lots of speed, you
Mm-hmm.
had considerable skill, you had strong players coming in off the bench, but you were the physical presence that made playing against this team difficult. Would you agree with that?
Oh.
Would you say that you are the physical presence on that team?
Um, I don't know. I was definitely one of the bigger girls. Yeah, as far as like physicality, like down low in the post, but I got to give credit in my second year. Wait, was she? Yeah, no, she played both years with me. Dragana. She was probably, I have to give her credit for being the most physical presence on the court, because in practice she beat me up a lot. She made me a better player for sure, because she's like pretty. She's my height and she's strong. So yeah.
I would never have expected that because for anyone that meets Dragana, she is the sweetest, kindest, most like just
Yeah.
overall one of the most wonderful people you'd ever meet. I would
Yeah,
never expect
definitely.
her to have that mean element, you know?
I know. Yeah, it was surprising to me too. She was so nice, and well, she is so nice, but yeah, I mean, she's a great basketball player, and that's part of being, especially a post. You just have to be physical. Yeah.
Exactly. All right, talk about some of the other players that were such a joy to play with in your
Hmm.
2 seasons. Who else was there? You just look back and you're just like,
Oh,
man, I would love to have one more game just to play with them.
yeah. Well, oh, there's everyone, and like, the team, my second year team is still so close. Like we get together all like we're mostly all from Medicine Hat, so almost like every Christmas or at least once a year we get together. So there's just all those McCoy girls who were my enemies in high school and became my best friends as soon as we started college. There's like Courtney Rosdeba, Kennedy, Weary, Dakota Shocker, Ali Dooley, and Sierra Matsella. And then the next year, Becca Bonnet. And then there's me and Megan Alcock were the Hat High gals. Megan Getz, Dragana, and then our Kristen McNabb from Calgary and Bailey Gebhart from Regina. Bailey and Kristen are still super close with us. So like they come to Medicine Hat all the time to visit. And it's just like, I love like still being able to hang out with them. Yeah, it's so fun. And like I would like to play a basketball game with them too, but like hanging out and drinking beer is also fun. So
So, okay, so Courtney and say Kennedy right off the bat, right?
yeah,
So the first practice as teammates,
yeah.
was that kind of awkward, or was there still a part of you that just like, yeah, I'll play with you, but I don't like you very much? Was there any of that?
Yeah, there was a bit. Well, Courtney, I grew up playing with because actually my mom and her dad used to coach together at Alexandra Middle School. So we knew each other, like our parents were friends. So we've known each other like our whole lives, and we played basketball from when we were like 5 years old, like growing up together. So we always were like, hey, Courtney, hey, Jade. But I was like, oh, I'm going to beat you. But then as soon as we were on the same team, I was like, wow, you guys are the nicest people ever. Why did I ever?
Why did I hate you so much?
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't hate. It was just, like a friendly competition. But
Sure.
yeah. But there definitely was a bit of that at the beginning, but it went away so quick.
Yeah. Okay. So during your two seasons, I mean, not every season is just a bowl of roses or whatever. Every good team has low points and so on.
Right.
Were were you the player that would call that team meeting? No coaches, just players. Would you be the one that gives that inspirational speech to the teammates, or who was it?
Um, I wouldn't say I wasn't the one who would call the meeting. The one that would call the meeting would probably be Allie or Sierra, just because they were like our third year players. They were the oldest ones. They were the captains. But I think I definitely would chip in the meetings and give my 2 cents and, try to bring up some of the morale. Like I was never a starter. So it was like, that was kind of my job. Like if you're a bench player, like if you're not the one starting, like you better be good at cheering because I played, but when I wasn't playing, I was cheering my teammates on, and that's like really important on a team. So that was like a big part of my role.
Okay, so playing on a competitive team like that, I mean, you do get that players only meeting every now and then,
Yeah.
and sometimes every now and then a player needs to be called out. How do you not take that personally when you're on the team and one of your teammates might say, Jade, what are you doing? You are not having a good game. You got to snap out of it, whatever your problem is. How do you how do
Yeah.
you how do you how do you handle something like that?
Um, I don't know. I feel like we weren't super we would kind of just generalize it like you guys we all need to do this or we need to make sure we're doing this but we wouldn't like call out names as
Ah,
much. Yeah, so but like right, in your heart if someone says something you're like, oh, that is targeted at me, like, so yeah, and then you just do your best to change it. Like no one wants to play bad or no one like wants to be in a grumpy mood, but and sometimes you just need that reminder to like snap out of it. So even if it's kind of just mentioned and not directly at you, like it's meant for you and you'll do your best to change it.
yeah. Did you have a favorite game? Is there one game that you look back on and you just think, man, that was the pinnacle of my college basketball career?
um
Or maybe that was it.
yeah,
Maybe
there
that was at
was.
the U of C. Maybe that's when that happened. I don't know, right?
Oh
Because you
no,
did play.
I no, Jenna played at UFC. I didn't play at
Oh, okay,
UFC.
good to
Yeah.
know.
Um, no, yeah, I remember it was like our last game or maybe second last game of my first year, I think. We were at Sate and I was just playing really well. I was like making my shots and and Sate was a really good team and I was like making my free throws, like getting fouled, making my free throws. And yeah, I think it was our last game and it was just so close. Like it was or maybe it was my second last game. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It was so close, and State was a really good team, and we either like lost by just one. We might have even gone into overtime. I don't really remember. It's a long time ago,
Hmm.
but yeah, it just felt really good playing and playing that good against a really good team. That was like Kendall Kuntz played on that team at that time. So yeah, it was a really good game, and it was so close, but we ended up losing and then not going off to provincials. But yeah, I remember feeling really good about that game. And the
Good for
state
you.
gym, I feel like we always played really good in that state gym. I don't know why.
Was that your favorite opposition gym to play in for you?
Probably just because it's
Yeah.
also like a big gym, and I had like I know people in Calgary, and so I would have like relatives in the stands and stuff. So yeah, I think I like that gym.
Hmm. Everybody, we've got Jade Spruyt joining us right now. For those that aren't aware, tell us a little bit about what you're doing right now. We can see all the beautiful sunshine there. Here, it's kind of dark and gloomy
Yeah.
now, but there, it's just amazing.
Hmm.
Give everybody an update on your life right now.
Okay, so well, right this second, I'm actually at the beach because I don't have Wi-Fi at my house. So there's a Wi-Fi hotspot here, so I'm utilizing that. But I'm in Penticton, British Columbia right now, and I live and work about 25 minutes away. Um, I'm a master's student at Thompson Rivers University in Kamloops. So in the winter, I'm in Kamloops taking classes and writing and stuff. But in the summer, I do my field work down here. So I'm studying rattlesnake road mortality, actually.
Wow.
So yeah, so my degree is actually going to be a master's of environmental science, but that's pretty broad. So the field like that I work in is wildlife conservation. So yeah, basically, I'm looking at how effective mitigation measures are at reducing rattlesnake road mortality, and those mitigation measures are eco passages, which is really just a fancy word for culverts that go under the road that the snakes are supposed to use to cross rather than going on top of the road, and some fencing that accompanies these. So they extend on either side of the eco passage, and they're supposed to keep snakes off the road and instead direct them through the culverts.
Wow.
So those were just recently installed a couple of years ago. So my research is seeing if road mortality is reduced because of those.
That's really interesting because around this area, if you drive up Highway 41 up to Oyen, I think in that area, there's a few highways in this area where there's big
Mm-hmm.
signs. There's big
Yeah.
signs that say "Watch for snakes crossing."
Mm-hmm.
Is that a major problem? I would imagine it is if there's studies going on about that. Is it a major
Yeah.
problem when it comes to our snake population?
It definitely is. It's a major problem for wildlife in general, for all sorts of wildlife. But snakes are particularly affected by road mortality because they have seasonal movement. So in the spring, they leave their dens and go out to find food and mates and everything. And in the fall, they come back to their dens. So through those movements, they're likely to encounter roads. And then when they do, snakes are ectotherms, which means they can't control their own body temperature. They have to let the environment control it. So if they want to get warmer, they have to go somewhere warm. And as we know, roads and asphalt get really warm when it's sunny. So they'll bask on the road. So they'll just stretch out right across the road and like hang out there, which obviously increases their chances of being run over. And a lot of people, sometimes if they're small snakes, don't see them, or else if they're a little bit bigger, they'll just think they're a twig or some vegetation or something. So yeah, they're pretty vulnerable to road mortality. And here at my study site, the girl previous that did research before me that I'm following up on her research, she found that about 7% of the whole population is dying on the road every year, which is like a big chunk.
Hmm.
7% of a population is not a small amount. So yeah, like she also used it's called a population viability analysis. So you can kind of like predict what's going to happen to the population, that if those rates persist, basically the population out at my study site will be extinct or extirpated from the area within about 100 years. So that's not very long.
Wow.
And yeah, that's kind
Exactly.
of why I got into conservation research, is because I want my kids and grandkids to be able to experience the same wildlife that I get to. So Yeah.
Now we have a lot of rattlesnakes here. Was there not a chance to do field work here, or is that a better place? Or is there a greater rattlesnake population in the Penticton area or
Yeah.
Kamloops
Well,
area? I guess.
so yeah, the Kamloops is actually where my university is,
Oh
and
yeah.
there are rattlesnakes there, but my study site's down here in Penticton. But no, it's not a better area. There are different species of rattlesnake. The ones here are called western rattlesnakes, and the ones you guys have are called prairie rattlesnakes. But it's just that my supervisor is like well established, has some like well established like been doing snake research for quite a few years in Alberta. And in Alberta, there's not really any snake research going on at like the U of C or U of A. And in Saskatchewan, there actually is some research going on bull snakes and stuff. But there just happened to be a position open at TRU where I ended up going, and I got along really well with my supervisor. So yeah, who knows? But I mean, it definitely is equally, there's snakes there, and it's also a problem. So if someone wants to do research there, they should definitely start it.
Is what you do dangerous at all? Like, have you ever had an encounter where you're out in the field and all of a
um,
sudden there's one like right by your ankle and you're like, oh crap, I better not move. Does that ever happen?
yeah, not like not really. Well, first of all, it's like I'm always when I'm going to like a den or whatever, when I'm looking for snakes, I'm always like actively looking for them. So I'm staring at the ground, and like always before you sit or before you put your hands anywhere, you're always checking. You kind of just get in the habit of it. But I have had like sometimes if you step too close to a rock before and you forget to check under it, you'll see someone come out and strike at you at your hiking boot, or yeah. But most of the time I'm pretty good. Like it's very safe. The way we handle them is super safe.
Hmm.
So yeah, no one in my lab has been bit in many, many years. So it's not, yeah, it's not as scary as it might seem.
And how ironic is it that the name of your college basketball team is what you dedicate your life to now, isn't it? That's
I
crazy.
know, it's very weird with the people that I work with here.
Yeah.
They're like, what, how do you have all this like gear with rattlesnakes on it? That's so cool. So yeah, it's very fitting and kind of ironic that that happened. And like I never set out to study rattlesnakes, but here I am. So
Was it as a kid? Did you have a problem with snakes, or did you embrace them, or like what was your
not
as a child?
really. I
No.
never really experienced like snakes in the wild. Like I would, you know, when you go to the things where they're like, "Oh, we'll put a snake around your shoulders and like your parents can take a photo." Like I did that and I was fine with it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know, I never really yeah, like encountered snakes or like on purposely caught snakes or was scared of snakes or anything, but I just kind of, in my undergrad, I did some research on newts, like small salamanders on Vancouver Island. So I really got into the field of herpetology, which is like studying amphibians and reptiles. So I knew I wanted to do my master's in herpetology. So yeah, and rattlesnakes just happened to be the project that was available, and I really wanted to also do a project that looked at like how anthropogenic activity impacts wildlife. So like roads, for example.
Yeah.
So it kind of just fit like exactly what I wanted to do, but it just happened to be rattlesnakes. So
Okay,
yeah.
I have one more snake related question, and it's a really dumb question, but
Okay.
I gotta ask it. Do rattlesnakes lay eggs, or do they just have babies?
That's not a dumb question at all because, yeah, because there's 6 species out at my study site, and about half of them lay eggs and half of them give live birth. So
Wow.
rattlesnakes, yeah, rattlesnakes give live birth actually. But two of the other species at risk, snakes in the area, gopher snakes, which are the same as like bull snakes, just a different subspecies, as well as they're called yellow-bellied racers. Both of those guys lay eggs, and rattlesnakes give live birth. So that's not a stupid question.
Fascinating. All right,
Yeah.
Jade. Show and tell. We always challenge all of our guests to have something that has some kind of deep personal connection,
Okay.
or just a really cool story. Go ahead.
Um, okay, well, I actually just got your text about the show and tell while I was out here, but luckily I had some equipment in my car. So I'll show you. This is called a PIT tag. PIT stands for passive integrated transponder. So basically it's like a microchip that we put into the snakes. And so it's this big.
It's
It's
like a
like,
grain of rice, hey?
yeah, exactly. So it's the size of like a grain of rice. And here, I got to put my phone down for a second.
Okay.
Um, Oh, that's not a very good.
It's okay. No, it's
Okay.
okay. Go ahead.
So then we put this in, it's just below the skin of the snake. And then it's very small, so you can see it like doesn't affect them at all. And then we can tell if we've caught them again because when we catch them again, we take this thing, it's a scanner, and then we hold it, and then we just scan the snake, and then there's a 15-digit number that pops up so we can tell who they are.
Wow.
So that's my
Okay.
the best show and tell I could scrounge up from my car.
Okay. How do you not get bit when you're scanning the snake?
We use tubes. They're pretty much like clear PVC pipe.
Okay.
So we have the snakes in a basket, and then you get their head into the tube. So when you're holding them, their head is in the tube and their body's out. So like we measure them, we can check what sex they are, that kind of thing. What like safely, and their head is in the tube the whole time, so they can't bite us.
Incredible. Incredible. Jade Spruyt joining us, everyone. Jade, thank you so much for all of your time. We appreciate that. Uh,
You're welcome.
all the amazing work that you do for wildlife and rattlesnakes in particular in Western Canada. I mean, I have a feeling that there's still a lot that we need to learn, but the more we know, the better chance we have to help save the species, right?
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
Good. Who should we get on this vlog coming up that would be outstanding at it? Who would you like to recommend?
Um, I feel like I have to say this, and I might get in trouble if I don't, but probably my brother, because Logan played the 2 years after I played. He's a real fun guy, and he's a really good leader on the team. He was a really good leader on the team, and I just love him. I have to because he's my brother.
Okay. And can we tease him about capitalism? Can we do that? Or would he
No.
get mad at us?
Um, no, he would teach you. He's very smart, and he has like a 4.0. He's better in school than I am, so he'll just teach you all about I don't know, money. I don't know anything about money.
Okay, sounds good. Logan, if you're watching, Logan, we got to get you on here. You're up next. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Have a great evening there. It looks like it's a beautiful night. So
Yeah.
thank you so much. And hopefully we see you back in the hat very soon.
Yeah. You're welcome. Bye.
All right, take care. See you. There she goes, Jade Spruyt on the Rattler vlog tonight, episode 26. Guys, we have another guest coming up tomorrow. Check out the Rattler social media for the big announcement. Patrick's going to be making it, and we want to get as many of you as possible on this vlog over the course of the summer. So if you're up for it, why not? Just send us a little DM, and we'll fit you in our schedule. All right? On behalf of Jade Spruyt, have a great night. We'll see you very soon. Bye-bye, everyone.